They were trying to compel people to say he was the greatest. Michael Jordan didn't say that about himself. Kobe Bryant didn't say that about himself. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar didn't say that about himself. Bill Russell didn't say that about himself. Tim Duncan didn't say that about himself. Nobody said that. Nobody but him.
Michael Jordan versus LeBron James. The most recycled debate in all of sports, yet somehow still the most explosive. Year after year, the same arguments resurface. Fans throw around stats, analysts stitch together endless highlight reels, and social media turns into a battleground of opinions. But when the noise settles, only one man still stands at the very peak of basketball greatness. And this time, Stephen A. Smith has had enough. He's tired of the excuses, the spin, and the never-ending push from LeBron's camp to manufacture a legacy that, in his eyes, simply doesn't measure up.
Every time LeBron does something, if Jordan wanted to, he would have done it.
I didn't say
if
that.
he's what you said he was.
Michael Jordan isn't just the greatest basketball player of all time, he's the ultimate definition of excellence. His legacy transcends stats and trophies. It's about dominance, mentality, and perfection under pressure. Yet every time LeBron breaks a record, wins a big game, or drops 40 points, social media instantly lights up with hashtag screaming GOAT. It's become a reflex, but a misplaced one. Because greatness isn't just about numbers. It's about the aura, the impact, and the fear you inspire every time you step on the court, and that's where Jordan still stands alone.
Jordan was the first 40-year-old to drop 40. That's number one. LeBron James is in his 22nd season. That was the 78th time in his career he has scored over 40.
But Stephen A. keeps hammering home one undeniable truth. Michael Jordan already did it. He did it faster, cleaner, and without ever begging for validation. This video unleashes 12 thunderous quotes from Stephen A. Smith that shattered LeBron's GOAT case piece by piece. Each line hits like a sledgehammer, cracking the myth that LeBron has ever reached the level of what Jordan built. If you're tired of recycled arguments and want real clarity instead of fanboy noise, then stick around. And don't forget to smash that subscribe button to NBA Showdown, the place that keeps it raw and real. Michael Jordan doesn't need approval, he owns basketball history. Stephen A. starts with two facts that should instantly bury the LeBron as GOAT narrative. First, Michael Jordan was the first 40-year-old in NBA history to drop 40 points in a game. That wasn't just scoring, that was defying time, bending the rules of age, and proving that true greatness isn't temporary. It's eternal. It lives in the DNA.
How many 40-point games did Michael Jordan have? 173!
Jordan didn't just leave the game and come back once. He did it twice and still dominated with the same mix of elegance and savagery that defined his prime. Meanwhile, LeBron, now in his 22nd season, recently notched his 78th 40-point game. Impressive? Maybe at first glance. But when you realize it took him over 2 decades to stack those numbers, it starts to look less like a mark of dominance and more like a badge of longevity. That's where Stephen A. S. brilliance cuts through. The contrast is brutal. Jordan did more in fewer years. He didn't need 2 decades to prove he was the alpha. He was the standard the moment he arrived. LeBron, on the other hand, has stretched his career across multiple eras just to keep his name in the conversation. And even then, the numbers still trail behind. Jordan's greatness wasn't a slow build, it was a meteor strike that forever changed the league. LeBron can keep chasing with more 40-point nights if he wants, but the reality remains. When one man made history at age 40 while the other needs year 22 just to keep chasing a ghost he'll never catch, the debate ends right there.
Anything that Michael Jordan wanted to do, he didn't spend the first 8 years shivering. He didn't have to go to South Beach to learn how to.
Stephen A. isn't hating on LeBron, he's just reminding everyone of reality. Michael Jordan didn't need time. He was time. The entire NBA revolved around him. Even at 40 years old, Jordan could still command the court, send chills down spines, and deliver performances that felt immortal. That's greatness beyond stats, greatness that lives in legacy, not just longevity. And then Stephen A. delivers his most devastating hammer, the one stat that completely obliterates the debate and leaves no room for argument.
LeBron James, there's only one player we look at and we say definitively we think was better. And that was Michael Jordan. They were trying to compel people to say he was the greatest. Michael Jordan didn't say that about himself. Kobe Bryant didn't say that about himself. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar didn't say that about himself. Bill Russell didn't say that about himself. Tim Duncan didn't say that about himself. Nobody said that. Nobody but him. Steph Curry hasn't said that about himself. Steph Curry has never called himself the greatest shooter of all time. Ray Allen never called himself the greatest shooter of all time. Reggie Miller never called himself the greatest shooter of all time. Allen Houston never called himself the greatest shooter of all time. Nobody called themselves the greatest in anything but that man and his camp.
Michael Jordan played 7 fewer seasons than LeBron James and still managed to record 173 games with 40 or more points. Let that sink in. In just 15 seasons, including 2 comeback years when he was shaking off the rust, Jordan built a mountain of dominance. He didn't just outscore his competition, he did it with ruthless efficiency and an unmatched killer instinct that turned every matchup into war. Meanwhile, LeBron, with his science-driven recovery, advanced training methods, longer prime, and extended career, still trails Jordan in 40-point performances. What does that tell you? It tells you that LeBron has been chasing Jordan his entire career. Even with more years, more minutes, and more possessions, he still couldn't match Jordan's relentless destruction. Jordan didn't just play basketball, he redefined greatness itself. As Stephen A. emphasizes, the numbers don't lie. Jordan achieved more in less time, and he did it in an era where defenses were brutal, where hand-checking was legal, and fouls actually hurt. LeBron has been phenomenal, no doubt, but he's benefited from every modern advantage, sports science, officiating, recovery, and still hasn't touched what Jordan built in a tighter, tougher, and more ruthless era. People keep spinning LeBron's longevity like it's a weapon, but the truth is, it's not.
All I know is your man got 7 more years in the league and still chasing Jordan. 7 more years. He don't even have more.
Longevity means LeBron needed more years just to enter the conversation, and even after stretching his career across 2 decades, he's still coming up short. Jordan's 173 games with 40 or more points in far fewer seasons isn't just a statistic, it's a direct slap in the face to anyone claiming LeBron has surpassed him. Then Stephen A. shines a harsh light on one of LeBron's ugliest truths. He spent his first 8 years underachieving. Jordan didn't need training wheels. He didn't need time to figure it out. And he certainly didn't need to join a super team in South Beach to learn how to win. From the moment he entered the NBA, Jordan was a storm, walking into Chicago, flipping a losing franchise upside down, and transforming it into a dynasty.
League long enough that I was in college. And still, he ain't catch Jordan.
Still get him there.
LeBron had to leave Cleveland, team up with 2 other All-Stars, and learn how to win after failing to do it on his own. That's not greatness, that's tutoring. Stephen A. isn't just talking about rings here, he's talking about mentality. Jordan was great the moment his sneakers hit the hardwood. LeBron, despite all the hype, needed mentorship, guidance, and a carefully built blueprint before he became the king the media wanted him to be. Jordan carved his legacy through fire, raw, unfiltered dominance. LeBron built his through alliances and handshakes. Yet somehow, people still try to put them on the same level. It's laughable. Because true greatness isn't about how you finish, it's about how you enter the arena. Jordan walked in, grabbed the crown, and never let it go. LeBron had to borrow his. And that difference isn't just about pride, it's about legacy.
Can't be in the same room with Brady or Mahomes because he only has. Barry Bonds never won a World Series, and you can't sit here and tell me that.
Jordan created the model, LeBron is just the product of it. Then came Shannon Sharpe's question, the one that echoed across the first take set: if Jordan could have done it, then why didn't he? It was Shannon's desperate attempt to defend LeBron against Stephen A.'s relentless truth bombs. But here's the reality check: Shannon completely missed the point. Jordan didn't need to do everything LeBron is doing now because he had already done more in less time. He didn't need to chase longevity records to prove greatness. He didn't have to jump from team to team or stack superstar teammates just to lift trophies.
Every time LeBron does something, if Jordan wanted to, he would have done it.
I didn't say
if
that.
he's what you said he was.
Shannon Sharpe's question was built on a false idea, that Michael Jordan needed to follow LeBron James's path to match him. But Stephen A. Smith flipped that logic on its head. Jordan's career wasn't about volume or longevity. It was about pure, unfiltered dominance in a ruthless window of time. He captured 6 championships, 6 finals MVPs, and never lost on the biggest stage. Perfection under the brightest lights. Jordan didn't need to make headlines in year 21 or beg for narrative control. His game spoke louder than any PR campaign ever could. What Shannon missed was simple: Jordan already did everything that mattered. He didn't play the longevity game because he didn't have to. He walked away from basketball at the top, twice. And when he returned at 40 and casually dropped 40 points, it wasn't about proving anything new, it was a reminder that true greatness never fades. The idea that Jordan didn't do what LeBron is doing now, so LeBron must be greater for doing it, is laughable. Stephen A. tore that logic apart, exposing how far LeBron's fans have to stretch just to keep him in the conversation. The truth is, LeBron is still chasing a ghost, while Jordan became one long ago. Stephen A.'s clapback to Shannon was short but devastating. LeBron James has had 7 more years in the league than Michael Jordan, and he's still chasing the crown. That single line crushed the debate. Because when you think about it, LeBron's had all the advantages: more time, more games, better technology, advanced recovery methods, and stacked rosters. And yet, he still hasn't matched what Jordan achieved in a tighter window. Longevity should be the cherry on top, not the whole cake. But for LeBron, longevity is the only thing keeping him in the GOAT argument. Jordan conquered the NBA in just 15 seasons, and that's including 2 years spent away from the game and 2 more during his late career comeback. He didn't need 20 years to prove anything. He wrote the story, sealed the book, and walked away while still holding the pen. Stephen A.'s bottom line cuts deep. You can run from the facts, but the facts always catch up. LeBron has been chasing a legacy he could never build. And the sad part? He's had more than enough time. If he were truly greater, he'd already have more rings, more defining moments, and more magic. Instead, 2 decades in, he's still trying to validate his career. Jordan never asked for validation, he was the validation. LeBron's legacy, when stripped down, is built on trying. And that alone proves Jordan did it cleaner, faster, and with finality. Stephen A. then dropped a line so sharp it bordered on comedy: "LeBron's been in the league longer than I was in college, and he still hasn't caught Jordan." That's when the tone shifted from analysis to ridicule. LeBron fans love to hype his durability, numbers, and consistency. But what does it really say when a man's had 20+ years to surpass someone who accomplished everything in barely over a decade, and still hasn't been crowned the undisputed best? It says everything. It says LeBron's longevity isn't a weapon, it's a smokescreen. Jordan's greatness didn't need decades. It struck like lightning and never faded. LeBron's career, for all its highs, is littered with finals losses, controversial exits, defensive lapses, and constantly shifting narratives just to keep the GOAT dream alive. Jordan's career, on the other hand, was surgical, clean, precise, legendary. 6 trips to the finals. 6 championships. 6 finals MVPs. End of story. Meanwhile, LeBron's storylines have flipped more than a daytime soap opera, from chasing rings, to chasing stats, to redefining greatness itself. Stephen A. laughed at the absurdity. Because if you have to keep rewriting the definition of greatness just to fit yourself into it, you were never truly part of that definition to begin with. Jordan didn't chase greatness. He defined it. LeBron's still searching for it. Stephen A. even mocked the desperation around LeBron's legacy. Everybody already recognizes LeBron as one of the top 3 players in history. What more do you want? A diaper and a bib? It was savage, and accurate. LeBron's camp constantly begs for recognition that Jordan never needed. Stephen A. wasn't saying LeBron isn't great, he's acknowledging that he's top 3 all time, but greatness becomes embarrassing when it demands applause. LeBron's career has turned into one long campaign trail, every milestone spun into a press release, every record compared to Jordan. Jordan didn't need that noise. His dominance made debate unnecessary. LeBron's greatness, by contrast, needs constant justification, constant spin, and endless noise to stay relevant. Stephen A. summed it up perfectly: there's only one player in NBA history we compare LeBron to, Michael Jordan. That, by itself, proves who the true king is. The fact that Jordan is the measuring stick, the reference point everyone else chases, tells you exactly who sits on the throne. If LeBron had passed him, this debate wouldn't still exist. But it does. And it always will. Jordan's resume is built on domination. LeBron's is built on endurance. One ruled. The other survived. And that's the difference. Stephen A. went further, pointing out that no other legend, not Kobe, Kareem, Russell, Duncan, or Magic, ever needed to declare their greatness. They let their work speak. LeBron and his camp, however, can't stop proclaiming it, which makes the whole legacy feel forced, curated, and insecure. Jordan's greatness was silent, earned through dominance. LeBron's has to be shouted through headlines. That's why, no matter how long he plays, no matter how many records he breaks, his legacy still feels incomplete. Because true greatness doesn't beg. It is. Michael Jordan never said he was the greatest, the world did. LeBron told the world he was the greatest, and the world still isn't convinced. That's the difference between a legend who defined the game and one who's still trying to convince it. Stephen A. closed with a truth bomb that ended the conversation. LeBron might be the only all-time great who's had to declare himself the GOAT. And that's the problem. If you have to say it, it's probably not true. Jordan didn't campaign for his crown. He earned it, through pressure, performance, and perfection. LeBron has had more years, more resources, more help, and still can't touch what Jordan built in half the time. So the next time someone says LeBron is the GOAT, remember Stephen A.'s words. He's had 7 more years, every tool, every chance, and still couldn't catch him. Because when it comes to basketball's throne, there's only one true king. And his name is Michael Jordan.